That's a shadow. What looks like a shadow, anyway. That's totally the duster.
Everybody, it's Steve Olson. It is December 29th, 2016. It's the afternoon here in Mountain Time, United States, in a hidden location. Anyway, I'm looking at and reviewing some of the work from our physicist in terms of what Wayne covered yesterday, which is this paper here to the right. And I'm not going to get all sciencey with you, but some of the interesting things that came out of this paper, and you can just stop anytime. I'll go through the paper so you can stop it and read it later if you'd like to. Just blow it up on your screen and look at it. But anyway, talking about ionized helium glowing yellow and red or orange, really connected to a lot of those rainbow effects that we had over the summer and a lot of things like that, if you guys would remember. And I thought that was a pretty important part of that paper. But we got an update today, and I just wanted to review some of that, okay? And this also goes to Higher Truth Channel and others that have been, really been the ones who have been ringing the bell on this helium thing, okay? It really helps us to understand what's going on. Now you go back to let's take a look at that we were looking at yesterday with Wayne, and I'll just kind of cover the highlights here for you, and then I want to make a theory. So where would this extra helium come from? Well, if our sun was to run low on hydrogen for fusion reactions, it would have to start using helium. This would cause our star to heat up because helium fusion reactions have to happen at a higher temperature than hydrogen fusion reactions. Also, our star would increase in size and it would probably turn redder in color. Okay, so basically, if we are actually coming into this as opposed to like we are actually orbiting it, or we're actually connected to its orbit as an outer system, like a lot of people believe, I think Eris still makes a lot of sense. It was discovered in 2005 supposedly. I don't know if this is the right orbit or not. Now, what's important to notice about this, you'll say, well, gosh, Steve, it's so far away. Well, first of all, I don't know how far away it really is. But number two, I did want to kind of take a look at, if we had a brown dwarf star in the vicinity of Eris, that would mean that we've been seeing the effects of this, for a long time. And if you can imagine that this is just a fake orbit of Eris, but this is showing how close we actually get in our binary dance or trinary dance with this star, it starts to make sense. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, I'm going to show you here in just a minute what we think the magnetic distance of this thing is. What we do think, this is what we think is happening here. We think that we've got a brown dwarf, 7 planets and moons. We have clockwise rotation, and the outer magnetic field is 16.32 astronomical units in diameter, and the inner magnetic field is 1.84 AU, and then you've got a core magnetic field of 0.66 AU. So basically, it puts this monster, if you look at it in this kind of mapping of its diameter, it's been happening for a long time, and it just gets closer as we get closer to it, and we go around it. At least the way that my theory goes, that we're going to see the helium, we're going to see our star in this large magnetic field interacting like we are, and that's basically where I think what it looks like, where it's at, pretty much on an astronomical unit scale, and where it might be, in the whole scheme of things.
Happening.
Hey, there's my big triangle star again.
Yeah. Look at that.
And then there's Mercury coming in its retrograde. And then all of a sudden you're going to see lines coming from the left.
This is not Venus.
No.
I do not know what that is. But I know it's putting off a different signature. This is Earth. Watch this thing up here.
Could be Mars.
No, remember we found out Mars is over here.
Oh, that's right. It's out of view. And it would have to be retrograding for us to see it again.
So there it is. It doesn't make sense. And if that was a real planet, like one of ours, with something, the plane is down here. We watched that even when Mercury came around.
Okay. It's about 5:08 in the afternoon. The sun is now finally starting to set. We can see it in the clouds, but this has been going on for a few hours. This is the actual sunset. It's been orange since 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I first saw it. Okay. South. Southwest. West. Northwest. North. Northeast.
Now, I just wanted
And
to kind of wrap it up,
east.
okay? So I wanted you guys to see that we got some more input on the helium. It's an indication of a brown dwarf. For it to come into the proximity magnetically of the Earth, it's probably been affecting our sun for a long time. These are great distances that we're talking about. This is not going to be something that happens overnight. I think there's a lot of stuff that's mitigating it. But it makes you think about what's going on in the world, you know, and why certain geopolitical events are happening. So here's some stuff from Kaylee, where we actually see the Fresnel lens again, you know, diverting the light away from our eyes so we can't see what's up there. And then every so often, bink, we get a little look at what's behind there. And we know there's a green planet up there. We think there's a blue planet up there as well. And we think there's like a gas giant that would be visible if we were able to, you know, if we were able to defeat some of their systems. Here's some pictures from the Middle East, just showing how the sun turns into that yellow orangish color at you know, dawn and at dusk, and again that's indicative of that helium. But again, our sun is burning helium because it's in proximity to a brown dwarf. So here's a letter, Matt. Thank you for the note. I've been looking at the models on the ISWA Integrated Space Weather app site under the Ionosphere tab. Second slide page is a model labeled blah blah blah. It measures neutral gas temperature, and the Antarctic area is the hottest in the world right now. Do you happen to know anything on this? And I would say, again, because we're in the proximity of a big magnet, that our Earth is heating up, and I think that Antarctica is the part of the planet that's kind of most facing that star, and so it's heating up, and that's why we're seeing all the dignitaries go there, and that's why we're seeing all the attention on Antarctica as it starts to melt and possibly becomes the new equator of the Earth. And I know that's pretty wild, but that's kind of what it seems like it's shaping up to look like, guys. A lot of people will say, hey, Steve, you know, we can't, you know, why can't we see these huge planets? And I would say to them, well, here's a picture of one of the planets, or one of the moons, or one of the planets, one of the moons that a person caught just on a perchance day. And we also think that we see the atmosphere of this one from time to time. But this kind of illustrates how hard it is to see these things right now. But I think they're going to stop being able to hide it here pretty quickly. And so we're going to have to be ready for whatever explanation that they give for it. But this is a very striking photograph of you know, of the effect of what we think is one of the planetary systems of the month, kind of, because here you've got, you know, back here you've got that thing that shows up on Secchi, either some kind of plasma reaction or maybe an intentional type of reaction. And seeing all of this going on up there at nighttime and these different orbs and different effects are just amazing. Just wanted to kind of put some of the pieces of the puzzle together. A lot of the things we've been seeing over the last several months have kind of been bearing out, and it leaves you wondering, like, what should you do? You know, what action should we take? Well, here's what you do. What you do is you try to do your best every day, is what you do. What you try to do is you try to help as many people as you can, and what you try to do is you get your spiritual house in order. And my thought of the day today is really just has to do with, it is so hard to cut through all the lies and the cheating and all the different things that happen when you start to explore the truth, okay? And I know it's hard from the outside to figure out what's happening, guys. And I know that we are constantly trying to update our theories. We're trying to figure stuff out. But it's not about us figuring it out, guys. It's about all of us together putting our information together to try to get an accurate picture of what's going on. And one of the things that's extremely clear to me is that they're trying to take away people's sovereignty. They're trying to remove your ability to govern yourself. And I would say to you, when you see somebody trying to take away your ability to govern you, the thing we call sovereignty, be very, very leery that it might not be in your best interest. I hope that you're having a great day, and stay tuned to WSO. Bye.